Hi, this is part 9 of Zero tutorial. In previous video, we've discussed what is JWT token in auth0. In this video, we will discuss how to get JWT token based on different flow. If you remember, in our part 4 of Zero tutorial, we discussed how to choose application type based on different authentication flow. In this video, we will talk about the workflow deeper. Before we talk about the workflows in auth0, let's briefly look at auth2. If you search for auth2 flow, you can find some flow like this. Let's open this. Look at the auth flow. You will see there are different roles: application, user, authentication server, and resource server. If the application wants to get resources from the resource server, it first will send authentication request to the user, which is the resource owner, and the user grant the authorization. The application side will request an access token from the authentication server and use that access token to the resource server and get the resource. So for auth0, you could see the authentication server is the auth0 platform. The application, you could see it as the client side. The resource server could be seen as a service API. Let's back to the auth0 flow. If we go to this URL, you will see there's documentation to give us guidance on what auth2 flow should we use. The first one we will look at is the client credential flow. When client credential flow is applied, it's when the client is the resource owner, which means the application is the user. So the application will directly call the authorization server, which is auth0, and to get the token and use that token to request resources. If we go to the documentation, we can find the diagram of the workflow. Your application requests the token to auth0 tenant. After it gets the access token, use it to send a request to the API. I will use auth0 management API as an example. Let's back to the auth0 dashboard. Before we start, we need to create a machine-to-machine application. Because we need to use manage API as the endpoint, we will select the management API. We grant all the access for now. Let's go to the settings. You can see all the details here. The first step is to get access token. How to get access token? You can find the documentation here. So we need to send request to this endpoint with these parameters. Let's have a try. If you click Quick Start, you can get some guidance on this. So if I paste it into the Postman, we send the request. You can see we get the token. If we decode the token, you can see there's a lot of information, like the issuer, the audience. This scope is when we grant all the access in the management API, which is listed here. Let's look into the details. The endpoint is your domain /auth/token, which you can get it from your dashboard. If you go to the settings and choose advanced settings, endpoints, you will get the endpoint here. The content type is application JSON, which you can get from the documentation. And the body contains client ID, client secret, audience, and grant type. The client ID is from the dashboard. Copy from here. The client secret you can copy from here. The audience is the machine-to-machine application linked with the API. From here, we linked with management API, so we can copy the audience here, or you can also copy from the APIs from here. And the grant type is client credentials, which is for client credential flow. So with this access token, we can get access to management API, which you could see the management API is your API here. Also is the resource server, because management API can operate all the information in this dashboard. We will use this token to query the user. If we search for auth0 management API endpoints, we look for the user's endpoint. We search the user, for example. So we need to copy the management API endpoint. /users. You can see we can query with different fields. For now, we search by email. We need to add authentication. We use the authorization layer token and copy the token we get from here. Send the request. You could see the response succeeded. So this is flow. The first step here to get access token is this one, because the user and application is the same one. So the first two steps is ignored. It directly sent request to auth0 to get the token. The second step, the application with the access token to send the endpoint to get resources, which is to use the token here to get resources from this API, which is step 5 and 6. So this is the client credential flow. You could also find the guidelines on how to implement it with quick starts. You could follow the quick start here with the language you're familiar with. In the next video, we will talk about resource owner password flow. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.